Hello, friends, and welcome into New England Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey, here to discuss the idea of, signing David DeCastro. Not a name I thought we were going to get to, but Bleacher Report put the Patriots on their list of the top landing spots for DeCastro after the Steelers surprisingly released him last Thursday. Now, if DeCastro wants to play, we know he's a great football player, right? Now, the big issue here is that his ankle's a bit messed up. He might end up retiring. And although that list from Bleacher Report featured some of the usual suspects, the Bengals, for example, since they're bad on the offensive line, the Patriots' inclusion was interesting as far as I'm concerned, because I don't know if the Patriots need another offensive guard. Now, DeCastro has been a multi-time All-Pro and a Pro Bowler almost every year of his NFL career. He has consistently been a premier offensive guard. His numbers in 2020 were a little bit down, but they weren't bad by any stretch of the imagination. No sacks allowed, 15 hurries. His run grade was pretty poor, but you know what? To be fair, the Steelers' offensive line and run game was bad overall. So putting the Seahawks and Bengals and Raiders on here at some level does kind of make some sense. Although I think we have to be honest here in terms of what David DeCastro is. It is reasonable to point to this stat here via Pro Football Focus, his overall grades each season, that they have trended in the wrong direction. Peaked at 90 in 2017, 74.8 still good, 2019 was still solid, not as good in 2020. And with the injuries a factor, with the age coming into play, it's fair to wonder if, hey, maybe he's not the same guy he was in his prime. So I'm going to give you my answer here in just a second. But should the Patriots go sign David DeCastro? Type in a Y for yes or type in N for no. In all seriousness, I actually lean towards no. And I think the biggest reason why here is it feels like Bleacher Report forgot who's on the Patriots' offensive line. They mentioned Michael Onwenu as being, okay, he can be one starter for you. That's great. And then just didn't mention Shaq Mason, which honestly blows my mind, because Shaq Mason is still a really good football player. The Patriots, in all reality, folks, even though it's a bit young for Michael Onwenu, they have a very good 1-2 punch at offensive guard. Sure, depth would be nice, but starter isn't really a huge need for them on the offensive line. And Onwenu was a great surprise out of Michigan. He's a great run blocker, a mauler in every sense of the word there. I was very impressed by him as a first-year player. He's lined up at left guard right now, at least on the projected depth charts. And then at right guard, Shaq Mason, who is awesome. Well, look, Shaq Mason, the worst PFF grade over his last 5 years, 73. That's better than what, David DeCastro in his last 2 years. Most of those grades for Mason are just as good, if not better, than David DeCastro. So the Patriots' inclusion here doesn't really make any sense to me. They don't need him on the offensive line. Between Onwenu and Mason, Mason's going to start over David DeCastro, a right guard, by the way. So what's the point? There's no need there. It didn't really make any sense to me. So, yes, it's a big-time name. I wanted to mention it since the Patriots got linked, but I don't really see the fit outside of depth for DeCastro in New England. Now, if you guys want more Patriots videos, it's simple, folks. We need you guys to subscribe. The more subscribers we get, the more videos we can do for you guys here on our Patriots channel. So hit that big red button and join us right now.